champions, pretty impressive. Ahead on Breakfast, a different approach to tackling weight loss. Could it be less about what you eat and more about how you think?
I say no way, try again another day.
We just found out we've got all sorts of psychological issues, and this is the reason why a lot of people... yeah, that's the reason why a lot of people have such a difficult time with weight control. Because we often talk about how cut your sugar out of the diet, think the sugar tax, a bit of exercise, and it will all be fine. One personal trainer says that may not be the right approach. She says first we need to tackle the reason why people crave the sugar. Often it's due to stress. Let's have a chat now to personal trainer, coach and neuro-linguistics programming practitioner, Rachel Marks. Rachel, thank you for coming in. So, to clarify, you're not saying the better diet and the more exercise is wrong, you're just saying it's the wrong priority.
That's right. I'm all about treating the foundations of the problem. It's kind of like if you keep getting headaches and you go to the doctor and he prescribes you a painkiller, that's going to make the headache go away, but in the long term you're going to have to keep taking painkillers. What I'd want to know as a patient is why I'm getting the headaches. So it's the same with, you know, why are we stressed? Why are we craving sugar all the time?
Yeah, so it's not a case of saying, OK, cut the sugar out. It's a case of finding out why you want it in the first place. Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? And stress is the main driver?
I think so. Stress is hugely on the increase. Statistics New Zealand in 2012 say that 1 in 5 people were highly stressed, and that was 2012. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's 2 in 5 or 3 in 5 now.
Is it not possible that I crave sugar because I have a sweet tooth, that I like sugar? Is it necessarily because I'm run down or tired or stressed?
Definitely, because when you're stressed, that's what your brain needs. And sugar helps you get through a series of tasks. But afterwards, when the sugar comes out of your body, then you end up diving. So what we need to do when we're stressed is find an alternative behaviour, and that's what I teach my clients to do.
Because so often, you know, the personal trainers and the dietitians sort of talk to you about a little bit of self-discipline, like just deny yourself those things because they're bad for you. But that's sort of saying, like, it's not necessarily going to work. That's
right, and I'm a believer in moderation, so I never say don't ever eat chocolate. In fact, I believe that the high cocoa chocolate is actually really good for you. Like 1 square is fine.
I could never have just 1 square.
No.
Really dark
think the squares, they're made up of lots of little mini squares, but they're each a big block, really.
No, actually, really dark chocolate I probably only could eat 2, but I like milky stuff.
But it's interesting how psychologically we were talking about this in the break. We're preconditioned so often to see sweet, sugary things as a reward from when we're children. So therefore we've got to completely reverse our psychology, which is deeply ingrained. We
have, and that's what I do with my NLP, is actually try and get to the point. OK, what's the switch that makes you want to desire sugar? What's happening at that time? What are you feeling?
Well, let's talk about reward. Well, 2 things. One is you're saying tired and stressed, and I'm going to say, from a children's perspective, maybe reward. If those 2 things are what drives you to eating your chocolates or an ice cream, how do we start dealing with them?
Well, first of all, when you recognise the signs, you almost need to preempt that and say, OK, are there certain times of the day when I hit a dive and I'm going to need that? So what can I do instead? Maybe I can do some meditation. Maybe I can hydrate a little bit more because maybe you're dehydrated. Maybe I can have a high-protein snack, which actually is going to help you feel fuller and reduce your cravings. So there's a number of things you can do, and also there's something called an anchor technique in NLP, where you can actually switch the behaviour to something a little bit more positive, and it's actually going to help you more.
So what is NLP, this neuro-linguistics programming? Is this like changing neural pathways, or what is it?
Yes, pretty much. So we have a program in our brain, kind of like when our parents tell us to finish our food, and we run that program for years and years and years. And all we need to do is sort of break that program and load a new one. It's a bit like putting up Windows 10 on your laptop, you know, because Windows 7 is slowing everything down. It's not helping your computer work very optimally. So NLP is like a toolkit for your brain. It just helps people learn how their brain works and how their reactions to situations can actually be changed to a more positive one.
So much of it comes down to one thing, and that is just the education as children from our parents. And now, as parents, how we're educating our children, we're conditioning them in certain ways, which is why this whole fizzy drinks debate is so... will have such a healthy outcome at the end of the day, you know. Already in our house where we see awareness is now there. Next step is, well, you know, we don't really have a problem with it anyway, but it's fascinating, a new approach to this, Rachel. But as I said, but the healthy diet and the exercise go hand in hand with this. That just follows on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying to somebody earlier, you know, and she was quite surprised, when clients sometimes contact me because they need to lose weight or reduce sweat, reduce stress, they think I'm going to throw them into a really hard exercise program, and I say to them, actually, if you're really stressed, that's actually detrimental. We need to actually find time to unwind. You need to make time for yourself. You need to make sure you're drinking plenty of water, lots of fruit and veggies, you know, high protein.
You've got to be kind to yourself.
Yeah, you've got to be kind to yourself. And actually, exercise, especially if you're doing high-intensity stuff, is a stress in itself.
Well, that's a great bit of advice. Stop exercising. Go for a massage.
Thank
you, Rachel.
That's so interesting.
Now, sorry, you go ahead, because you were...